like this. And what is happening is that they're in a different dimensional space than I'm at. They're here with us, but they're in their own dimension. And the dimensions are overlapping all the time. I'm able to move my energy in such a fast movement. Flash. Excuse me. There they are. There's someone right here. There's a man here and there's a woman here. I just went flash. I went right into them. See, that's kind of neat. Thank you. So what I'm saying is that we need to learn to understand that we have the capability of moving our energy. There's an interesting word that I created, and then I found it was out there. So I don't know if that word was taken from me or I copied it on a conscious level. Cording. C-O-R-D-I-N-G. How many times have we left somebody we care about? We can still touch we can touch our lips and we can still taste them. Or you've known what a child is up to. Or known what a spouse shouldn't be up to. Got it? It's because you've corded to that person. We do it unconsciously, moving our energy like a spaghetti to somebody. At one point, I thought that our body looked like spaghetti and touched everybody we'd ever met. Not so. We only touch those we want. I have people coming to me after 20, 25 years out of high school and say, I love that person in high school. What are they up to? Do you know I can find that person? That means that on a spiritual level, that individual I'm talking to has never disconnected, that I can go to that person. That spaghetti piece, that cording has never left that person they were in love with in high school. I find it fascinating. Yet in their life they've met and come across people that they've not corded to anymore. One of the first times that ever happened to me was a woman came to me and she had this black thing attached to her belly button area. I went, that's interesting, it's black. It's not white. Love is an interesting thing. It's kind of pink, frosted looking. When I touch that and someone loves somebody, when I touch people who are corded to a partner, a friend, it's white. This woman had black. So when you feel like someone's out to get you or someone's thinking negative of you, remember negative energy is heavier than bright light, spiritual love light. That's a light color. Like that frosted pink is the highest level of love I can ever see. A woman for a child or two people in love. This woman had black cord coming to her. There was a partner from her past that hated her in such a level that she was poisoning this woman with this black cord to her belly button area. So in your lifetime, the power of our psychic, of our energy field is so great. I'm continually asking you to evaluate your attitude, your emotional state, and your clarity who you are as a human being. Because without you knowing it, you could be given negative to a client, negative to a loved one. Be clear who you are because you don't want to touch that to the person you're talking to. Cording is what I'm addressing at this moment. When we read somebody and they say, I want to talk to, instantaneously they bring a little piece of their essence, a little piece of their energy, and it looks like a cloud but in a string, and it goes to that person. Unconsciously, you know who all the people in your life are, even if you're not aware of it. I was addressing somebody in this group a few years ago, and the woman said to me, oh, I want you to talk about my honey. He's in Reno. I was in Reno. I couldn't find her, and I couldn't find him. I said, he's not there. Oh, that's right. He went to his mother's first. He's in Truckee. Boom, they got him. She could not mislead me because I was looking for that cord of hers to find that man. Couldn't find him. That fast, I knew he wasn't there. But that fast, she said, oh, I didn't mean to do that. He's in Truckee. She had already known that. She sent her energy to him. But I bypassed it because I know where Reno is. It's not in Truckee. It's past that. So I then realized that we connect with those people instantaneously. I follow that energy. Oh my gosh, how can I do that, Nancy? That sounds scary. I want you to only remember the times you've done it. Because recognizing, identifying, knowing, having that personal knowing will allow you to do that. I don't know if I can do that, Nancy. Then practice it. I would like you to write down the people you love the most. I didn't say hated the most, because love and hate are very close. The energy and the power of those words are very significant in your reading techniques. I want you to write down the people that you love and put them on little cards. I want you to lay them out face down. And I want you to turn them up one at a time, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pick them up one at a time. I want you to look at the name. I want you to feel their presence. I want you to visualize them in their mind. I would like you to touch their essence and get a feeling that fast. If it's a honey or a child, try to taste them. Then I want you to write down another stack of people you don't know very well. But you have communication once in a while. The librarian, you like her, you don't know her. Put those names in front of you, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when you pick them up, I want you to get a first impression. If you talk to those people, say, my gosh, you know I was thinking of you the other day. What are you thinking about? And see if you're right. What you're doing is identifying the courting process. What you're identifying is that you can do that. By doing so, by playing small little games with yourself, learning to identify, feel your cat for heaven's sakes. Don't worry about being silly. I want you to write down things that are important to you. Those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people that you love, you should be able to see them and feel them when you look at that name. And what I'm asking you to do is look at the name with the totality of who you are and the focus of what you're about. Learning to focus and see that person on that card is what I do with my focus. When you ask me to look at somebody, yeah, I'm there. I can even tell you what they look like. I want you to feel if you can see them also and taste their energy and their presence. For the people you don't know very well, get the first impression. That's very important. All right? Another little game was interesting. I went to a birthday party last night. Was something I was going to mention today. I don't know how many people in here sew, but it's very important to identify differences in vibrations. I'd like you to go to a fabric store and pick out felt. Felt is a wonderful feeling material of as many colors you can get. I want you to put it in a bag, and I want you to field one at a time, and with clarity see how many times you can pick a color correctly. And what you're doing, it's very interesting. What you're doing is feeling the vibration denseness of something that you're holding. You will find that I'm looking at the audience of one with beautiful fuchsia over there, that as we live our life, you will find the color you pick for the day is usually attuned to your vibration rate for the day. How many of us, don't raise your hand, but how many of us have picked a color because that's how we feel? I feel black today, I'm going to wear black. Or I've watched fuchsia because I want to be happier. I want to be in love. I love life. I want life around me. I'm picking fuchsia today. Now, I'm not taking away someone who's color-coordinated their outfit, right? White socks with, I love these combinations. So fresh, it's so live. It reminds me of spring. So I love blue and white. That's very important to my spirit. Identifying and using that technique will help you identify different densities of vibration. And what you're doing is when you become that focused that you can step into somebody, information will come to you from all levels. And what I'm trying to teach you is as you pick a card up and see a name, I want you to learn to visualize. And what you're doing is you're using psychic eye to reach somebody. You're using your senses, all 5, 7, or 8, 9 of them, to taste and feel somebody. You're using your finger trips right here, learning to identify different vibration densities. Oh my gosh, Nancy, you were telling me to do this and that, but I still don't know my first step. I'm teaching you to chord and to go somebody. Now, if you need to back up and say, there must be another tool, my gosh, there's 100 different ways of reading. Psychometry is a way I learned to control the essence of what I'm about. You will find that if you remember back, as you go through your life, you've gone to the mall, the movies, or gone to work, you have a sense of who in the office or who in that room is not in a good space that day. Okay, you've courted that person. But we have a tendency to court to everybody. Everybody that sat down here saw me and courted to me. I got the pinpricks all over me for about 5 minutes from everybody. You were touching me and seeing if I was okay for the day. If you got a negative feeling, maybe you would have left. That's natural courting. We do that all the time. My gosh, when I went to the Renaissance Fair, guess how tired I was? But my eyes, my energy was as tired more so. I touched everybody I came in contact with. That's what you do. My gosh, when you go to the show, the movie, the mall, okay, you touch everybody. We don't need to. We don't need to court and touch anybody. And I've learned I don't want to do it. I have not read anybody in here. And the reason is that I don't want to. I have learned through psychometry. I pick an item up, I hold it, I feel it, I feel the density of it, the energy of it, the spiritual edge to it. I try to see who had it because the essence of that person's still there. And then I put it down. And I don't have to. Learning to turn on the power and turning off the power is the key to developing it to other levels. Psychometry is a tool. As I told you to meditate, to know who you are, to understand your prejudice, your attitudes, learn to focus by meditating, get into that space of knowing who you are, so use the energy when you need to. Turning off the vibration, turning on the ability is very important. Psychometry is everybody's wearing something like my earrings, my ring, my shoes, my shoelaces. Remember the words I said earlier? I have read everything, the underneath of a picture to the side of the picture with a picture on it. I've read a baseball mitt, a dog ball, and a pair of lacy underwear. We human beings leave our energy everywhere, as well as the dust out of our hair, fingernail particles. Everything about us is left everywhere. But the energy, what we're made of, is all the atoms that make us and pulse at all the time. As you walk near people, you'll find some people pulse at a higher rate than other people. There are molecules, whatever I call bigger motor in me, my motor's always going like this all the time. I love my energy. I keep it going. That's what I am. I love it. But you got to remember, if I'm that way, when you pick up a ring of mine and hold it, you go because you pick up that motor. Haven't you ever been around someone whose motor is really slow and calm and it feels so good to be next to them? They're a grounding rod. Well, you touch something of theirs, it feels the same. Oh, it feels so good. It's like a grounding rod. Bless you for noticing the difference. Who are you? Have you discovered that of yourself? Remember, that's what I asked you to do in that meditative state. Figure out what vibration rate you are. If you don't know who you are, then when you touch a grounding rod versus a high motor like me, are you going to tell the difference? I'm asking you to do that. After you learn all that, remember, get the cards. 5 people you love, 5 people you don't know real well, but you have communication with. Get the felt, the color, the density, the beauty of a fuchsia versus a black versus a brown versus a blue. You may not get it every time, but you're going to tell the difference between the colors, the density, the life in that color. That's very important. Something else I encourage you to do, but don't tell everybody, is when you're at work and you see someone's coffee cup, pencil, or pen there, pick it up for a moment, go right to it, and put it down. What a buzz. It's exciting to think that we're all different. It's exciting to think that every human being alive has a different story. As many times as I've talked to people, as many times as I've seen the diversity of them, we are similar and the same but different. Go for that excitement. See what you can pick up. Remember, you don't have permission to tell them what you pick up. All you have to do is permission to hear and see if you're close. All right? I'm talking awful fast. I know we have another hour, but I want to stop within a half hour to answer your questions. So I was talking about the energy fields around us. Then you asked me, okay, you've asked me to identify my energy fields. You have asked me to identify what cording is. You want me to learn to identify how to read and how to seek out the information. When we talk about energy fields, it's important to know that we have them. We have colors. So ask a best friend, whoever you trust, to sit there against a blank wall. Each of us heat up an area around us about 2 inches deep. I want you to get against the wall, or your friend, and I want you to feel the energy around that person. Squinch up your eyes. Poke a hole with a pen through a piece of paper. But don't see with your eyes closed, see them with almost closed. Not open, but almost closed. The eyelashes are fading your visual. What I want you to do is sense that person. This is another technique of understanding. I have a lady friend who's blind. She holds onto your driver's license by putting her thumb on your picture. Through psychometry and sitting with you, she meshes with your energy fields. Okay? So if I had a friend stand up against the wall, I want to feel the energy and sense it all around them. And then once I start seeing the heat, I want to sense it going this way. Once you start opening up the possibilities, then I want you to reach into that person and feel that life force, and then watch it as it expands out to them. Because I see now 3, 4 different levels of color on people. All right? Unfortunately, I've seen black fields around people who aren't going to be around very long. Because I've learned to identify that and keep my mouth at peace, I will question the person, are you feeling right? God has given me 3 chances that, okay, talking to somebody. I will approach them and say, gee whiz, you know, last week I had the flu, a month ago I had the flu, and you feel kind of like you're down. Did you get the flu? Approach them again. There's techniques to talk to people without being blunt or grabbing at them or invading their space. So that was what I wanted to address. And I have learned that as I allow information to come to me, as I allow doors to open, more doors open up. That more times you ask people to stand up against the wall to see their energy field, is going to amaze you how many levels of color you can see. Color around people is another way of learning to read people. I have asked you to cord to somebody, measure their energy, and try to get information. I've asked you to identify the density and the clarity who they are and get it and understand who you are so you can tell them what that's about. But there's so many ways of reading people that now that I enter someone's space, I can float within the time of who they are, the energy field, the different levels of energy field, the seasickness in glops. I can read brain waves. I can see through their eyes the lovers or their friends or their family. The idea is that I'm showing you the very basics of the foundation. Please honor that. And as you begin to open the doors of trying, your good heart, your spiritual drive, and who you are to do this will open the doors to see him with more clarity every day. Don't get discouraged. Remember, the minister I know now took 12 years to open the door. The next thing we want to address is everybody says, I want to read, but I get more questions on past lives and guidance and angel levels. Understand that not all the information you get is by your technique alone. How many times people see me talk and I will say, huh? Pardon me? Say it again? I am clear enough to know that I'm not everything. Thank goodness I have a gift I can share. But thank goodness I've been reading long enough that I don't tune out my ears or my eyes. If you hear someone talking in your ear, don't think you're schizophrenic. Trust me, I doubt it. Okay? Also trust that whoever's sitting with you, it might not have been their idea to be there. Okay? That's happened, huh, Lloyd? This gentleman knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes people are brought here because you think you're interested in me. I think you got family that says you should be here. All right? And if I'm supposed to hear that, you better believe I'm going to pay attention. And I'll actually argue with Spirit. How you want to say this? That's going to embarrass me. So through tact, the little I have, I will relay the information the best way I know how. Hearing is very interesting. You're here on a class of clairvoyance. I want to add clairaudient and clairsentient. Okay? There's actually 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 senses that we have we can tap into. Once you open one door to seeing, to hearing, to feeling, that opens more doors. Hold that thought. The first time I started hearing Spirit, the only way I could describe it, and why I'm telling you this is I don't want you to get discouraged. The only way I could describe it is that I want to extend my hand as far as I could go, and I heard a whisper out there. Huh? Out there is where I heard it. It's almost as though the inside of my ear had this funnel, and I was trying so hard to hear that I would only hear a whisper way out there. Guess where it's now? Guess where it's now? And they push me, and they prod me, and they shout at me, and they walk up to me, and I go, wow. Okay. As you learn to trust who you are, they will also trust you. Your power will grow. They know how to step into it. They pull people to you. I know a few of you read my book, but I have a girlfriend named Camille, and she got one of those gossip magazines, and she said, I think I'm going to take Nancy to a cemetery to have her take a picture of a spook for me, a ghost. We got to the cemetery, and there's someone waiting there for us. We've been waiting for you, really. We want you to help somebody, really. At the end of the evening, I was so astounded. My first day in this world was May 4th, 1990. They knew that I'm a knothead. I don't believe anything very easily. Remember, I'm an engineer person. If I can't prove it, I don't know if I can do this. So it was a month and a half into this, when Camille got this idea, guess who got the idea? They did. They maneuvered Camille because they knew they couldn't talk to me. I wasn't going to listen. They talked to Camille. Camille got me to go to the Fair Oak Cemetery to find the woman, the stone, of the woman who died the day I entered this world. That was their proof to let me know that they are real. Whose thought, whose free will was it? Okay? So our guides, our angels are always around us. Truly, I believe that now. More of us believe not in that than do believe in it. Through mediumship, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient tools. Part of your path is not necessarily to give information, but to teach the truth. Open the door to mediumship. That's very important. Oh, how do I do that? I just got through telling you that through developing your energy, and developing it is only as easy as to identify that you can. And we do that by courting. We do that by feeling. We do that by psychometry. The more you do it, the more you turn your motor on to do it more often. Keeping yourself in good health is very important. You will find that as you read more and more people, you're going to sleep more and more. On days where I read 6, 8 hours, I sleep 9, 10, 11 hours at night. I cannot help but do that. Honor how your body feels. If your body says, after an hour of reading, I'm tired, I gotta lay down, you better do that, because the next hour you'll struggle. And if anything I can teach you, I want you to be clear on what you're about, and your honesty is very important. The minute you're honest with the interpretation of the information, never again will you do it right, because you'll not know to trust yourself. If you can't be clear on your honesty in reading somebody because you've mistreated your body, you're not sure how you're going to do it next time. So honor who you are. If you need to rest after an hour, so be it. Because as you honor your body, your motor inside will honor you, and you'll build the energy to get to the next level. Okay? Yes, I love coffee and apricots. Is that a way to turn the motor up? It doesn't hurt. Okay? All right, I'm giving you so much information. If you can only take a little bit and incorporate it into your life, so be it. I told somebody lately, this is 10 or 12 hours of concentrated talk and teaching it as it is. I've told you about the word psychometry, meaning of reading an object. Most people I know start that way because they can identify something. Another tool, and I recommend for everybody, is tarot cards. I think tarot cards are a magnificent tool. They're fun, they're creative, you learn beautiful words, you got something pretty to look at, you got something to distract you so the world around you doesn't pull you out of place. It entertains the people you look and talking to. As you learn the meaning of a card, put the card down. After a while, I want you only to feel the card and put it down. At some point in the future, you're not going to use psychometry. You're not going to need an item, as with tarot card, because you're going to feel the essence and identify the feeling and the emotion. Remember, you've meditated. You know who you are. Your past experience with life has told you what those feelings feel like. You know what it feels like to have an abusive husband, abusive wife, to get fired from your job, to be sick with cancer, to give birth, because you were there. I want you to go back and identify those emotions and feelings and incorporate into who you are. Don't forget what you've been through. God allowed that for a reason. When you're with that and you know who you are, you jump into somebody else, you're going to identify that. Oh my gosh, you've had a terrible life. I can feel this. I wish I could help you. How can I help you with this? You identify that. A woman comes the other day, I jumped into her. I know what it feels like to be in love with somebody. I felt her, and she had 2 people she was in love with. Oh, brother. Both married. Great. She wants me to help her decide between the 2 married men who she should be with. Wow. I know what love is. She was in love. It was a tough day. You know I had to be? I had to be clear with my intent on helping her. I don't feel like we should fool around with married people. She was fooling around with 2 married people. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't put my prejudice into that, right? But I did tell her who would leave her, his spouse, and who wouldn't. I was honest in the fact that the man who would leave her, would leave his spouse, wouldn't want her. I was clear that I needed to give her honesty. I was clear that I didn't put my prejudice into it. Go, well, you shouldn't do this in the first place. I don't want to talk to you about it. Okay? I didn't put my stuff into her stuff, but I gave her the truth. Even if she didn't want to hear it, she heard it because she was there, and God must have wanted her to hear it or she wouldn't have got it. And because I was able to get it, she wanted to hear it. She wanted to have some kind of truth to this. Did she walk away happy? No, not real happy. But she was clear that God allowed her to fall in love with 2 people. She had a hard hill to climb because the one she wanted, I said, would not leave his wife. See? Truly she wanted him. And the one who was willing to give his wife up was telling her a lie. He wouldn't go to her but somebody else. Clarity of who you are, get the prejudice out, will save a reading. You got to be clear on the information. Some people say, okay, you're teaching about clairvoyance. What about my dreams? What about those hunches? Do I trust this stuff? You got to understand that if you're clairvoyant, you're going to help yourself to some extent. I can't read me very well. I read my child, my son, who's very analytical. He's also an engineer, big surprise. But my other child, who's the mom, and life is turbulent all around her all the time. Poor thing, I can't touch her very easily, nor do I want to. I'm smarter than that, okay? She's here on her own path. We have to identify who we can read, who we can't read. Oh my gosh, I can read me too. When we get hunches, you better honor them. As many times as I've got hunches, as many times as I've not paid attention to them, is as many times I kick myself in the butt wishing I had. Okay? I seem to know, I've only got one traffic ticket in my life. But you know I'm good enough now that I know when they're around. And I'm saying with humility. No, I want to be a good driver. So I'm also saying, I know I should be a good driver, but I seem to know when the police people are around. I don't want to get a ticket. I'm going to be a good driver. See? I know where to go for the parking. Do I pay attention? No. I've had wonderful stories I'd share. I've saved my life on 3 different occasions because I knew something was going on. Thank you very much. If I've learned nothing but the psychometry too, and the clairvoyant, clairaudic, clairsentient abilities, is to save my life, fine. I hope you do this just to save your own life. I've done it 3 times. You know Farrah's Ice Cream Parlor was there. You know I've had cancer. I was parked in a parking lot with a car chase that came around the corner and ended up in the space I would have been if I pulled forward. Big time. Not little stuff, big time. And then I say to myself every time I get a hunch, oh, is that another save me? Oh, no, I don't know. So I do it all the time. The more times you honor those hunches, the more time it's going to grow. So then I tell people, keep a journal. If you can't trust yourself, then keep a journal of your hunches and feelings and wishes, wants, hopes, and desires. Because maybe those instances you get a flash of, I'm going to win $45 million. You better write yourself a little note. You know why? Because you want to date it. Because when you get it, you're going to know how close you were with time, right? That's happened to me. I've paid attention. And that's come true. I've also had flashes of plane crashes, people getting hurt, terrible, terrible things. I wish that were like Arthur Ford. He used to get things like this with a newspaper clipping with a date and a time. Great. I'm not that good, unfortunately. Yes, I've helped the police. I don't like doing that. Because there's not a calendar or a clock in my mind. So we can't do everything. But when you start a journal of your dreams, the ones that wake you up in the middle of the night and you're sweating, you're going, oh! I won't say that in a church, right? What I'm saying is that those are the dreams you pay attention to. Write a journal. I know it's hard. I don't like doing it either. I can't even keep a diary of my mileage, okay? It's tough. It's tough. But if you honor who you are and you really want to get to where I'm at, some of us better keep a journal. And if you're to be a dream interpreter, and there's not enough out there, please do it with a journal. Because when someone else comes to you with a dream, maybe you can help them because you trust your dreams, and you'll tell them how to trust their own dreams. Maybe you're going to teach that. My daughter came to me one day. She's not like my son. My son is like I am and can step and move and manipulate energy. But my daughter dreams. She called me up one day. She says, well, I'm going to make you happy. I go, really? I had a dream last night. I woke up this morning, it happened 4 hours later. I says, cool. You're getting there, Jenny, yes. She honored what happened. She didn't put a journal, but she shared it.